Chapter 2. Eudora took Tiana's hand and they walked out through the large wrought iron gates of the LaBeouf mansion. Gaslights flickered in the busy city as they boarded the streetcar that took them home. Tiana sat in her usual seat next to the window and pressed her face to the glass. She watched as the elegant mansions gave way to the busy streets of downtown New Orleans and then on to the far more modest neighborhoods. At last, the streetcar arrived at their stop. The houses there were small, but every one of them had a covered porch where neighbors would sit in the evenings, chatting and enjoying one another's company. A warm light was shining in the window of Tiana's cozy home. She and her mother hurried in. Tiana's father, James, had already arrived home from work and had begun making supper. He loved to cook, and he was good at it too. His dream was to own a restaurant one day where his food would make people's taste buds tingle with delight. He had even picked out a spot, the old sugar mill down by the river. Right now, he was swiftly slicing some carrots to add to a steaming pot on the stove. He was making gumbo tonight, and he had promised Tiana she could help. Tiana climbed onto a stool next to the stove. She used a long wooden spoon and stirred the pot, adding a pinch of this and a dash of that from all the ingredients her father had arranged by the stove. This gumbo smells good, James said with a wink. I think it's done, Daddy. James looked into the simmering pot. Are you sure? He asked. Tiana answered. Positive? James said. Yes, Tiana told him. James picked up a spoon to taste the gumbo. Wait, Tiana said, and added a few drops of hot sauce. Then she tasted the gumbo. Done, she declared. Tiana held her breath as her father dipped his spoon into the pot. Eudora looked up from her sewing and smiled. James said as he tasted the gumbo. What? Tiana asked anxiously. Well, this is the best gumbo I've ever tasted. Eudora, our little girl's got a gift. I could have told you that, Eudora said proudly. James gave Tiana a grin. A gift that special has just got to be shared. Tiana ran out the back door. Hey, everybody, she yelled to the neighborhood. I made gumbo. Smells good, a neighbor called back. He turned to his wife. Hey, honey, grab your pecan pie. Soon all the neighbors filled Tiana's backyard. Everyone brought a little bit of home cooking to share. Sounds of music and idle chatter drifted through the night air. You see, food brings folks together from all walks of life, James told Tiana. It warms them right up and puts smiles in their faces. Tiana nodded and helped him dish up more gumbo. She loved everything about cooking, from choosing the ingredients to adding the hot sauce, and finally sharing her creations with family and friends who would enjoy the good food and the good times. Later that night, as Eudora and James got Tiana ready for bed, James told Tiana, when I open my restaurant, people are going to line up from miles around just to get a taste of my food. Our food, Tiana said. She wanted to be as good a cook as her daddy. James smiled at his little girl. That's right, our food, he said. Then he pulled out a pen and a flyer. Tiana stared wide-eyed at the picture of a glamorous upscale supper club. Such a restaurant was sure to be filled with the lovely aromas of the best food in town. James hoped that a flyer like this would one day advertise the restaurant of his dreams. He wrote the words Tiana's Place on the flyer as the restaurant's name. Tiana grinned from ear to ear. Outside Tiana's window, the clouds parted, and starlight fell on the little girl's face. Oh, look, Tiana said, scrambling across her bed toward the window. Charlotte's fairy tale book said that if you make a wish on the evening star, it's sure to come true. Her eyes widened. Eudora smiled and lovingly moved over next to her daughter. Then you wish upon that star, sweetheart. But remember, that old star can only take you part of the way, James added. You've got to help it along with some hard work of your own, and then you can do anything you set your mind to. James paused. He was thinking about cooking, sharing food with the neighbors and his family. He wanted Tiana to remember these good times too, and to cherish them as much as he did. Just promise your daddy one thing, that you'll never lose sight of what's really important. See you in the morning, baby cakes, Eudora said as she and James took Tiana into bed. They closed the door as they left the room. Tiana crawled out from under her blankets and scrambled back to the window. After looking up at the evening star, she shut her eyes tight. Please, 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 she wished with all her might, help us get our restaurants. Tiana opened her eyes and blinked in surprise. For just a moment, she couldn't believe what she saw. There, on the windowsill, sat a small, fat green frog. It stared back at her, opened its mouth, and let out a loud croak. Tiana screamed and ran out the door.